live without being live,
Mm-hmm.
which is maybe what we're doing now. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to. You know what? There's only one way to find out. I can check and see if we are live. It says, no, no, we are live. All right, good enough. Figured that one out. Holy crap! Yesterday we weren't live. Like, I don't see us in our stream because I never watched the stream.
Mm-hmm.
So before we dive into the topics for tonight,
Yeah.
figured I'd show we have the 10 Cars Minion shirt. The sample came in. I like this one a lot. I This one is one I can only take like orders to deliver at a convention, I think. But I'm gonna. I know the artwork is I don't know high quality enough that it will blow up, won't lose definition. So we're going to check out Redbubble,
Mm-hmm.
see if Redbubble is a good solution. Get a sample shirt or two. I like this because it's a V-neck, but I want to make sure. Listen, the artwork was donated. I have it front and back. The back has the module. I'll put up a post later on today about it. But
Yeah, we just took photos of it.
yeah, so here's the deal. The artwork was donated. I am not looking to make any kind of profit of the 10 Cars Minion shirts. That's for the community to have fun and enjoy. So whatever price they wind up being when we find a supplier that can do it, that's going to be the cost. Okay? Nothing comes back to the tavern. We're not looking for it. We appreciate the support. There's other ways you can support us using the affiliate links like on Drive-Thru and Humble Bundle. I know. I should share them out on my the description of each one of these videos or as a pinned comment, but I always forget to do so. So, but we're not chilling. We're just here. We're here to spend our time with you. So that's what this is about. So, and give you our progress when there is progress. In my case, my weight has stayed exactly the same within like half a pound for the last week. I'm floating around 230, 230 and a half. But Rach, because she's on a diet that you can actually, mm, it's actually manageable, it's actually doable, right? It isn't so much a diet as it is a change in your eating habits, I guess, is the best way to put it, right?
Yeah.
More manageable
Well, and
and
then
be
there's
more.
also guidance. It's got rails, like if you're just up to your own devices and eating, um, you're gonna not always make the best decisions. So, like, it's a calorie controlled diet. Um, you get more calories back the more you move around and exercise, um, which is wonderful because that does help you be able to enjoy eating normally, or what I call normally, um, in terms of being able to have fast food, not like copious amounts of French fries, but you know, having the fried, not having the fried um, chicken, but maybe having like the grilled chicken, or if you're having, fried chicken, have it be a lesser portion so that um, you're not absorbing all those oily
Well,
calories.
well, and here's the thing that
Oil carries a lot of calories.
Paul's asking, is it carb based or better choices? It's really
It's better choices.
it's better
I would
choices
say.
because it actually tracks her fat, carb, and protein intake. And if you're on a low carb diet, which I generally am looking to go low carb, I will have more fats and more proteins and less carbs. My fats are probably fattier than most people should be doing, but for me, it's important to um, literally keep my carb count down. Rachel's not a type 2 diabetic, so she can go for a more balanced, and often with this more balanced, your food choices are going to have a better calorie count likely.
Right.
We do factor 75 for our prepared meals because we like to have 3 meals a day for the two of us, so 6 meals. That is low prep and tastes like you're out eating. I mean, they are very tasty chef prepared meals. And we were doing always low carb. But once Rach got on this diet, now I get my 3 meals, which are low carb. Rach gets hers that are calorie conscious or calorie
Yeah,
smart.
I get the lower cal options. Um, it's not that any of us are really following low carb. We
I
often opt for
yeah,
low carb options because
yes,
Eric needs to, because the sugars are controlled in that
right.
situation. So it's not like we're counting macros and like diligently
No,
uh,
well, you're more diligent. I'm not.
looking
I'm
at
not
how many
diligent.
fats, how many proteins, how many carbs. There's not counting really when it comes to that. Like mine just makes it more. It helps you to be more mindful
What's
about
the name of the app?
the choices that you're making. It's called Chronometer, and Chronometer will do low carb also.
Really?
I just set mine to be like just regular.
Right.
Um, and they'll help you count your macros. But I found that this is a lot easier because it does give you a lot more options, like in terms of like fruits and, um, simple carbs like Cheerios and things like that. That, it's a good quantity of food for a serving, and you know, it helps you fill. So,
Yeah. I mean, and I'm conscious of Rachel's diet. So when I'm preparing snacks at night, it's like, okay, I'll cut up some Swiss cheese for Rach. I'll cut up some,
the turkey
the
stick.
turkey sticks or whatever. I have an idea. She'll tell me what her calorie count is left for the day. So we know, oh, am I giving her 3 really thin slices of Swiss or just 2? But and then and if I'm cutting up just 2 slices, I tend to cut them up a bit smaller.
Or if I'm just whizzing up some fruit in the Ninja Creamy, that might also be something too. If I haven't had a lot of movement that day, that will really curtail how much I can eat.
But Rachel also works out a lot. She is very good with keeping up with not just her yoga, but her TRX.
Mhm.
And it isn't just an hour; it's often 2. It's impressive. I mean,
Yeah, when it's on my own, it's usually an hour. The TRX,
but
the yoga is tend to be 30 minutes. And I might do one in the morning, like one earlier in the day, and then one later in the day,
yep.
or just play with like the resistance bands and the incorporate the sliders into some of the yoga and some of the things that I'm doing.
So, yeah, honestly, Rachel's been on. Uh, I won't even call it a diet, but she's been eating healthier and being more conscious about her workouts and all that stuff for just over 2 months. In those 2 months, she's lost a hair over 20 pounds, and she's doing muscle building exercise. So she's lost 20 pounds while certainly putting on muscle. I can see the form of rates changing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been good for her.
It's exciting.
I wish I could motivate myself to do all that. The best I have is my fairly regular virtual racquetball partner that we play. I play racquetball with Zach Laser, but this is a lot. This is
Well,
certainly a
maybe when
lot
we go
better.
to the Poconos, we'll show you a little to
Well,
do on the TRX. And
yeah, and I got to bring my virtual headset with me this
yeah,
time.
absolutely.
I gotta play more. Do another session or two of Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
But this week's been so hot. If you want a reason not to work out, New York City
We
is
have the
giving.
AC, and then like with the yoga, I'm always like, well, it's only 82 in here, so that's how they would have practiced in India. So let me embrace that. And
Embrace it.
yeah,
They would have.
and it's interesting because like the way that your muscles behave too when it's warmer, it's you have a lot more
stretch.
Stretch, yeah.
Yep. Climbing that mountain. Welcome.
Hello.
Paul, I've been riding that pre-diabetic state range. My last comprehensive blood test put me just under the pre-diabetic range.
Yeah.
We're Italian and doing low carb and can be a challenge.
Yeah.
All right, so pasta. There's I am not going to say that cone jack pasta is a perfect substitute for wheat pasta. It is not. However, if you prepare it and you put the right sauce, or if you're Italian, what do you call it, gravy? If you put the right flavorings with it, the right meats with it, it can be something that gains the flavors from what you're putting with it. It's just it. I know I miss my pasta.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly do. I think what is it? Chickpea pasta is a little bit better for a diabetic, but or there are some pastas that are made with inulin, which is very high fiber. You're still going to get carbs.
Oh, and sprouted stuff,
Yeah,
like
so
with sprouted rice stuff.
right, but there's if you're konjac pasta has like 0 or 1 or just trace carbs, or like 1 carb per serving, but it has no taste. Doesn't have that consistency that you want from pasta. But again, with the right stuff, ain't so bad. I'm not saying it's all that good. I'm just saying it ain't so bad. When you go low carb, you tend to crave fruit like mad, hard during the summer, with all the melon, pineapple, and seasonal berries.
Yeah, I bet.
I've been surprised to find out that berries in general are less carb than we would think. They hold less sugars. They're very sweet, but the actual carbs that you're going to get from it is less than expected. Grapes are very high in sugar, but
And the pineapple. I mean, you've had sorbet with pineapple in it,
yes,
and not had
a huge spike?
a spike or anything really bad.
Paul says he's proud of you, Rach.
Thank you.
You're committed, and it's showing on camera. She actually got a compliment from one of our regular bartenders who we hadn't seen. I don't think we've seen
Yeah,
Ash.
I don't think we saw her in like a week or so.
Week and a half.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and she's said that she can see the difference in you.
Yeah, I was like, wow, thank you.
Now, no prodding, no priming the pump on that one. It was all her. So it was very
very
good
very
to see.
sweet.
Paul is flying to Boston on Thursday. Forecast on Friday says 88. Feels like 100. We're going to the Poconos Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, we have to be back for the kids for Friday to pick them up from the airport.
Yeah, so we're going to go Monday through Thursday. So the days are going to be mid 80s or low 80s, which is fine. I'll take that. It's going to be a lot.
And it's supposed to be cooler at night, like 60s or something.
Yeah, the nights are very cool, usually. The way the Poconos are, maybe it's because it's the mountains, is that you get a lot of days where it's like, oh, you got a 30% chance of rain, and you can have a shower pop up at any time with lightning, with hail, and then literally an hour later, your sun's back out, and you're like, wow, awesome. So it's a weird weather up there. Climbing a mountain. I skipped my walk today because it was 95 in Boston.
Oh.
I can see. You know what they say? It's not the heat, but the humidity. You know what they say?
Yeah.
They're full of shit. Okay, I'm sorry. 95 is going to be hot even with low humidity. We walked down to our local pub for a late lunch, early dinner, and walking down with that sun. Now my car had already told me it was like 101, 102 outside. In the sun, I could feel it hitting my forehead, and I was just like, "Oh man!" I felt like I had a fever.
Mm-hmm.
It was that intense, and it was just like stepping into an oven. So yeah, last summer wasn't that bad, but this summer we bought an air conditioner at the end of last summer to replace.
I mean, we had 90s last summer.
Yeah, we did. Not saying we didn't, but the stretches weren't. We've had longer stretches. And
that's true.
We bought an air conditioner to replace one I literally bought 16 years ago. And my son, in his time, used in this room as a bedroom. Did a great job in destroying it as best he could. I don't blame him. I'm just noting. So we finally installed the air conditioner we bought last year, only because it's in a corner that was behind stuff. The wind, that was a pain in the ass. I'm so glad we did, because I don't know if you hear the AC behind us. If you do, I apologize. But oh my God, this would be a miserable blanking time.
Oh yeah, we
right
did.
now.
Very sweaty.
Very.
And the bicycle is turned out towards the center of the room, like the back of it. So that this way it's easier to board. You don't have to climb behind stuff. So,
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be able to start
Using it again.
using that. They have these little workouts. It's got a screen on it, and it's pretty cool.
Mhm.
And we just haven't been
doing it. My fault. Paul, it's all about the sauce. Spaghetti squash with good sauce. I do love a good spaghetti squash with sauce. Spaghetti squash has a nice little flavor of its own. Konjac pasta does not have flavor. It does have odor. When you open that, it comes shipped in water. When you open it up, it has a very earthy smell, and not a good earthy smell. What you got to do is you got to rinse those noodles for usually 1.5 to 2 minutes under cool water, room temperature water, whatever. And then you pan fry them without oil to dry them up a little bit. And then once they've dried a bit, then you throw your sauce in. I like to make with a nice Italian sauce and some like vegetables from the garden when we have them. Peppers, onions, squash cut up fairly small on these noodles, and maybe throw some chicken in.
Mm-hmm.
It's all what you add to it, because these noodles really don't have a flavor.
They take on the flavor of everything you add.
Yeah, so you can buy them on Amazon. I think you also buy them in certain supermarkets. Climbing them out. It's been standing there, sweating weather. Yes.
Mm.
Listen, we've been having to water the garden pretty much on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Front and back.
Because it keeps threatening rain, but then it never comes.
Yeah. The jarred sauce with rouse, yes, or rouse.
Yeah, rouse.
Yes, please send me some of your better low carb recipes. I'd love to see it. You can email me at tenkarstavern@gmail.com. I have the address here somewhere. There we go. Ignore the dungeon crawl at the end of it, but that's the email address. I would love to see some recipes. And honestly, like right now, what I want to make is refrigerated pickles. We have cucumbers coming in. They're small. They're turning yellow early, but they're not getting soft. So I'm not sure if the breed is just a yellow breed of cucumbers.
And they're sort of like balls.
They're small, but they're made to be sliced. And what I'd like to do is, we did this last year, refrigerated pickles with the cucumbers that were coming in from the garden. Oh my God, it was amazing. So this time we actually bought some from the supermarket too. Refrigerated pickles are great for two reasons. As a diabetic, you are having something that is damn near close to no carbs and no calories. A lot of flavor, little cost. But on top of that, if you're using, I bought a huge mixture of pickling spice, and I have the vinegar. But if you're doing it yourself, guess what? You don't add salt.
Yeah.
So somebody who has,
which we all watch our salt.
a heart issue, I got to watch my sodium intake. That's awesome. So, and they are very tasty. So I'm gonna have to do some of that up. All right, I'm gonna kill that banner for now. So believe it or not, and you might not believe this, we actually have a topic for today.
Yeah, look at that.
So hold on.
Classing it up.
Hold on. We're gonna actually put a share screen up.
Oh my.
And I kind of fall off the screen with that one. Hello.
Well, move it on in
No,
here.
it's okay. They don't need to see me. They see me 6 days a week.
Move your chair over.
No, it's okay. I gotta look at the screen over here. I gotta watch. So this, by the way.
All right. So, do you want me to just? Okay. So let's introduce the topic first, and we basically have the topic. We felt it was a very timely topic to go into. Pardon me.
Narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah, we thought that was a very timely thing because, just seeing, I guess, some of the ways that people react to things, some of the situations that have happened in gaming over maybe the past month or so. It looks like this could be a topic that, could be helpful for people. We've had a couple of situations with like sort of people's self-perceptions and how they treat other people over and over again. So I thought it would be an interesting topic to discuss, narcissistic personality disorder, because it's something that this disorder is something that we're going to run into a lot, whether at work. Sometimes people run into this issue as they're starting to find mates or through dating. And then a lot of it we tend to find in the workplace. And it's narcissistic personality disorder is a difficult thing because often, all personality disorders tend to be looked at as, oh, the person's just being a real shit to me.
Yeah.
And while they are absolutely being a shit to you, there's some understanding behind what's informing why they're being so shitty. So I thought, we could take a look at, some of the symptoms that people who have this condition have, and some of the things that maybe we can do if we have someone who displays some of these symptoms in our life. With personality disorders and narcissistic personality disorder in particular, these are certain personality traits that tend to harden and become more rigid as the person starts to enter into early adulthood. It's hard to make a diagnosis of, a personality disorder if it's a younger person, because there's so many other things that could be at play also. Something else to know as we go through this information is that there are other psychiatric issues that someone with narcissistic personality disorder are more prone to. They're prone to other comorbidities like depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder,
Addiction.
Absolutely addiction. Addiction has a very strong correlation with personality disorders and also narcissistic personality disorder.
Okay.
Why don't we jump into just sort of reading some of these bullet points about what you might see in terms of symptoms that somebody with a disorder like this might have. So they tend to have an exaggerated sense of their self-importance.
Which I'm going to be honest, I think we've seen, if you've been following stuff at the tavern, the events of the last, week and a half with different individuals, we've certainly seen that. But if you go back a little bit further than that, I think you're seeing that with, what's her name, Satine and her husband,
Mhm.
Jameson. They certainly believe that they are the shit.
Number two, they have a sense of entitlement and require consistent, excessive admiration.
You know what? If we're doing a checklist, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say,
yeah. Check the boxes where you want to.
all right. I'm gonna say,
You've seen more
I'm
than
gonna,
I do in this community. Or
right.
whatever.
I'm gonna say,
No.
within this one, Jameson and Satine. I don't know them well enough, but I think there's some of that. But when we say recent events in the old school gaming world, recent revelations, the personalities behind those, check that box off.
Okay. The next one, they expect to be recognized as superior, even without achievements that warrant it.
Um, yep. Check that box off for the last week and a half or so. It's almost 2 weeks actually. Yep,
Uh-huh.
yep, yep.
So that would be somebody who maybe served in the military, and completed their service, which.
Well, now that'd be the next part, right? Exaggerated achievements and talents.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's the next bullet point.
I guess they kind of go together.
Yeah.
So yeah, we took care of that bullet point. Okay. And yeah, so like, they expect to be treated as like lords and ladies,
Right.
when they might not have done much to
claims
achieve that.
claims of being like a federal officer, CIA agent, a mercenary for
Blackwater,
possibly Blackwater or some other company like that.
Kinsella.
Yeah, I mean these are things that would fall into
Yeah.
exaggerating achievements. It's like kind of like all right, so maybe per se, just per chance, you did a job that allowed you to enforce certain laws, like the Coast Guard. They can enforce federal law on the sea, right? And I guess probably around that basis. So they are federal law enforcement officers under that circumstance, but they're not FBI marshals or anything of that sort. So,
okay, so the next one is that they're preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, and the perfect mate, like an idealized love.
well, there's part of that going on with the listen. Satine and Jameson certainly thought that they were going to be these huge successes based upon their personalities and not so much for what they could actually do. And what we've seen in recent events is, there's this idea that you're going to shake down a major corporation for a large sum of money. Yeah, okay.
Sounds familiar.
It does.
So let's see the next one. They believe that they're superior and can only associate with equally special people.
When you say associate, like I've heard, like with Jameson and Satine, that they've been very like gracious to those of us that don't mean shit in the industry.
Okay,
so, cool. But they also seem to have their own very important clique that they are part of.
Okay.
I don't know how much this applies to recent events because there's really nobody of that superior level of belief or unless somebody like perchance the writer of Star Frontier's New Genesis. I'm not going to name them. So I'm not quite sure who it is, right? There's more than one name on a 10. Maybe they're on an equal level because the people that are on that 10.
Oh, right, but yes, right. And then the person that that was in the circles with Trump and like Hollywood personalities, like
yes.
George Lucas or something.
Yes. Those are circles.
Okay, so there's that. They monopolize conversations and belittle or look down on people they perceive as inferior.
When you perceive the rest of the world as inferior, your world's a very small world. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we've seen that with the Jameson set team from the Twitter shares that we've seen, and we've seen this with a lot of the communications going on at New TSR. I'll just say that.
Okay. They expect special favors and unquestioning compliance with their expectations.
Seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Can't talk about it much, but man, I've seen it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's top secret.
It's top secret confidential.
Okay. It's classified too?
I don't know if it's classified. I don't know what security level you got to be.
Okay. They take advantage of others to get what they want.
That certainly. And I would
Mhm.
say, I don't know if it goes on into this, but what I've seen, they'll go from being a bully to being the briber. It's
Mhm.
like, well, I'm going to first try the stick, and if the stick doesn't work, I'll try the carrot, which is ass backwards. If you're a boss, if you've ever been a
Or you
supervisor,
claim to be a boss.
yeah, if you ever claim to be somebody who has supervised people,
Mhm.
you never start with the stick, because if you start with the stick, the carrot will never work because they don't believe you.
Right. We'll get to that too, as dealing in how you deal with somebody like that.
Yep.
Have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others.
Well,
So they lack empathy.
They lack empathy.
The
There's that whole thing
concept.
of, oh, that person is selfish. No, they're self-oriented. The world revolves around them. So the universe forms around them and their needs.
Right. And so with that, having a romantic relationship with somebody or a deep connection with that person, because of that, is going to be very difficult, if not impossible.
Yeah.
Unless, somebody else has some other issue that makes being close to someone very difficult too. Let's see.
Be envious?
Be envious of others and believe others envy them.
Well, of course, if you're superior, everybody wants to be like you, right? So if you believe you are better than everybody else, of course, everybody else wants to have what you have.
Mm-hmm.
It's the snake eating its own tail.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of make that a reality because it's the way you see the world. So every action done against you is because people are envious.
Like haters, right?
Mm-hmm.
They behave in arrogant or haughty manner, coming across as conceited, boastful, and pretentious.
All the above and all the above. We've seen it in all these issues. Actually, we've seen a lot of this in other personalities in gaming. Not going to name names, but some of the old guard who have recently faded. They have a lot of these issues too.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
They insist on having the best of everything. For instance, the best car or office. This is the person that likes to talk about how they have they eat the best steak every day, all day, and they drink only the best red wine all day, every day. Like that.
I own a tank, and a mansion, and a yacht.
Yeah. So these people are very, very sensitive to criticism. And when, their beliefs are confronted or They receive something that they perceive as even slightly negative feedback, it gets really difficult, and they begin to sort of act out.
Before you go into that, for our late arrivers, St. Cuthbert, we are talking about narcissists, narcissists, as I say with my back New York accent.
So these COVID symptoms.
Yeah, narcissistic personality disorder. Because if you've ever gone to a convention, if you've ever seen somebody who believes that they are a personality and maybe aren't, you've seen a lot of these symptoms. And if you've been following recent events in our community, you've seen a lot of these symptoms.
So they can become impatient or angry when they don't receive special treatment.
Yep.
Yeah. They didn't comp my room. They didn't give me. They didn't pay for my flight. Yeah. You know, whatever the case may be. Next one. We're almost there, guys. They have significant interpersonal problems and easily feel slighted. So even something as simple as, oh, they didn't say hi to me in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
They must, you know.
Why? What is?
Yeah.
Yep.
They're trying to like screw me over and, you know, whatever. And it's like, it might just be that the person didn't see you. Next one, they react with rage or contempt and try to belittle the other person to make themselves appear superior.
When the only way you can handle, I don't even want to say, somebody confronting you, somebody challenging you, is to react with rage and belittle and mock them, their family, their friends. That's not the way. I mean, if your way of dealing with questions, and this is something I need to touch on for a second.
Oh, good.
If your manner of being asked questions by whatever community you manage is to instantly block somebody or
attack them,
these are symptoms that you have. This is
bam.
This is checking off boxes. And the worst thing about this is that if you have this disorder, if this is part of your personality, you will never ever admit it to yourself. You will.
Right. That's part of the difficulty.
Yeah.
So another thing is having difficulty regulating emotions and behavior.
Yeah.
People who like fly off the handle and send threatening emails or before they've really looked into what is the situation.
Right.
Before they've gotten the facts. Experience major problems dealing with stress and adapting to change. So when something changes, they have a really hard time with that.
Mm-hmm.
They feel depressed and moody because they fall short of perfection. So there are certain narcissists who are extremely perfectionistic. That's not with every narcissist. I'll explain in a minute. And then the last one is have secret feelings of insecurity, shame, vulnerability, and humiliation. So these are the things that are sort of going on underneath.
Which makes you lash out at others that you feel, the reason why you feel insecure is because of others. So the only way you can make yourself feel better is to bring others down, not bring you up. Because bringing you up takes work.
No, it's also a threat.
Yeah.
To them being seen, and there's not enough admiration to go around.
I need more admiration, damn it.
Okay.
That's why they got the minion shit, man.
So yeah, something I alluded to before. There's different levels of narcissism, like anything in psychiatry, like in the DSM, like any kind of like mental health condition, they're all on spectrums. So you could have like people that have maybe a less severe narcissistic personality. They might tend to have a lot of perfectionism. They might not. They might do sneaky things to like gun at somebody to like bring them down. But they know it's not appropriate to be seen doing that.
Right.
Yeah. So that type of person.
A little bit more self-aware.
Yeah, and those are the people that can really benefit a lot from therapy.
Right.
You know, so like, yeah, there's, but the person who has like they call the poles of this type of disorder. They say vulnerable narcissism versus grandiose narcissism. So I think we've probably seen both in this corner of the world.
Yeah.
the vulnerable one that in a lot of ways you can see, and to some degree they acknowledge, but they still, persist with certain behaviors. And then we also have the grandiose narcissist who, thinks he's perfect and that everybody else is a piece of garbage and
right.
on welfare.
And everybody else, and everybody else wants to be them.
Yes.
I think, that you have to remember too, once you get to the grandiose personality, they believe that everybody envies them. Everybody wants to be them. And everybody is plotting against them.
Yes. And so these are not the people that tend to walk into treatment. They will go into treatment often if their depression is so severe.
Well, for other
reasons, for their depression. A lot of times you do see folks with this in substance abuse treatment. I've worked in substance abuse treatment for a long time, and I've seen them at all levels. I've seen them as clients. I've had them as supervisees.
Yeah.
And then it's just sort of like, when you go to talk about, well, how do we deal with people like this? Because most of us have this reaction of, well, run, don't walk, far away from this person.
Right.
A lot of us have that initial response, and that's what we would want to do.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to. It was annoying me bumping up in the bottom of the screen, so I had to make it go away.
And so sorry. Yeah. So what do you do? And because we can't just like block everybody. I mean, we can. There's some people that you can block, but then there's other people that, unfortunately, we might have to engage in a relationship with people like this, either on the workplace. We might have a family member who struggles with this,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of how do you do that, and it's really hard. I think, if you, sort of like try to educate yourself, I think that's sort of where it starts. You want to know, what is this person like? When I had them in the workplace, it was like, okay, I need to get to know, like, what is his narcissism like? What do I observe from this person? And how can I, use it to help the person do their job? Like, I wasn't there to fix it. I'm a therapist for our clients or whatever, but I'm not there to fix this person's issues.
Right. I mean,
so it's like, there are certain people that you might supervise or that you might work with that have more of the vulnerable type of narcissism. And, with those, like, yeah, you can give them some praise. You can, they'll probably work very hard for those type of compliments. But if it's one of the grandiose narcissists,
you're going to be pretty sparing with,
Yeah.
because they're already doing that themselves.
Well, and here's the thing too. Especially the grandiose, they're not going to diagnose themselves.
No.
They're going to look at this list we went through, and they'll be like, "That's all bullshit. That doesn't apply to me. Fuck that shit."
Mhm.
And maybe in the back of their head they know it does, but they're not going to look at it. The only way they will ever seek treatment is if family.
It's like, I've had enough of this.
Yeah, it's like it's like an intervention with an alcoholic or a drug user.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, I've seen interventions go well, and I've seen interventions go poorly.
And a lot of families don't understand that their family member might have this. It's if he could just stop drinking, if he could just stop sniffing cocaine, this thing would be over. Everything would be fine. So it doesn't always compute for people. Like sometimes people just think it's a volitional thing and that they're being, douchebags just to be douchebags,
They can't.
Not that they have this condition.
Right. They can't help but be a douchebag.
Exactly.
Like, you're being a douche nozzle. Hey, it's the way God made me. I'm supposed to be a douche nozzle. That's my role in life.
It's not usually, like if you think of like the beginnings of it, it's not usually like a innate type of thing,
Right.
So often, like there might be certain propensities, but like what happens environmentally,
I was about to say,
or
the history.
Like Tom and Tammy had done a stream about adverse childhood events, and Tammy spoke about those, and how the more adverse childhood events you have, the higher your proneness is to developing psychiatric issues, personality issues especially.
Right. So I mean, listen, there's a lot of things that can do that. It can be, did you grow up poor?
Right.
Did you grow up without a parent? Did you grow up where every day you didn't know if you're going to have your 3 meals?
Right.
All these, because if you survive that, then all of a sudden, some people are going to feel like, well, I deserve X, Y, and Z because when I was little, I didn't have.
It doesn't necessarily have to be the traditional physical abuse, but often in situations, all those things go together.
Yeah. So this
an addicted parent, a lot of different things.
And so when you're dealing with people like this, I am not going to use the words have sympathy because, trust me, it is a difficult thing to have sympathy for somebody who's
right. It's just
they're going to treat you like shit.
Yeah, it's just what they do and how they are and what it's going to be. And if you have to like be in a workplace with this, it's like, I remember like trying not to like necessarily direct the person. You need to do this and you need to do that now. Unless it was like, some sort of like a emergency life-threatening situation for somebody. Yeah, I didn't do that. I just sort of like tried to like implant, a certain idea and, sort of like, oh, you were talking about, whatever the idea was that I kind of started to flow. Yeah.
you plant it and let them think it's their idea.
Exactly.
Exactly.
My dad was always a no kind of guy, not a narcissist, but he was an only child and always no. Everything had to come from his mind. And he's like, well, I think here's what should be happening, and they'd say like what your thought was, and I'd be like, okay, great.
I think that sounds familiar to me.
Yeah,
not in our relationship, but folks, again, when I say
they will not see your point of view, so to expect them to be able to see that and sort of like, oh wow, holy shit, I did something wrong. Let me get it right. They're not going to do that.
Again, I'm not saying have empathy, because when you have empathy,
you just understand.
Once you understand, then your mindset is different. because when you're dealing with people who have this issue, you need to understand how to navigate it from your end without stepping on landmines, without getting aggression that is
Mhm.
not yours to get. So when you have empathy and you can see what's going on, it allows you to make more reasonable decisions. Because I'll be honest with you, when you deal with people like this, a lot of times you want to react instinctually, which is,
Mhm.
oh, really? Oh, you go fuck you.
Right.
And
So it's an eggshells kind of situation. Another thing too, being very careful about how you say certain things, how you give certain feedback to them, because if it goes towards the idea of blame, or it goes towards the idea of, some sort of flaw that they might be worried they have, then it's going to be over because they're going to lash out angrily.
yes. Hold for a second.
Yeah, what's that?
If I distract you for a
Yeah.
second, but Robert Roberts goes, we were talking about how drugs can come into this too,
Mhm.
addiction, and then he was like, "Oh Lord, dealing with other people with substance abuse is terrible. I lost a
Mhm.
friend to drug abuse during COVID.
Yeah, sure.
She always looked very happy, and they can.
Yeah.
I've dealt with many in my career. Looked very happy, and her skin tone and everything looked so good and healthy, but she died of fentanyl
Oh, I'm so sorry.
in a Tim Hortons bathroom last
Oh,
year. That she was only in her
it's
late
like our
30s.
Starbucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and she was only in her late 30s. I mean,
Yeah.
that, and I'll be honest with you, my experience in the late 90s, early aughts, the people that were having the drug problems, the addictions, were people primarily in their upper 20s to young 40s. That was the age. It hits people,
Well, that was the age that it started to become problematic.
but
Where they'd have police contact.
right. But I mean, that just seemed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that you didn't have outliers. You certainly did. But that was the age because that's the age when you start making money.
Mm-hmm.
And once you
That's
start
true.
making money,
Mm-hmm.
suddenly you can now afford
Yeah.
recreational drugs.
Yeah.
And that's just a dangerous, dangerous slope. So that's why I think that's where you see people coming into it at that age.
Yeah.
There are some that will come into it at a younger age, and there are some that may, but that's the age where they seem to find it, if they're going to find it, because they have the disposable income they didn't have when they were younger.
Right, as kids. Or,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
we're sorry for your loss.
We are so sorry.
So I didn't want to distract you.
No, I'm glad you got to
that
heard.
was,
Yeah. And it's always, you just don't know what's going on underneath it all.
No.
And like these people with narcissistic personality are really hard to deal with, and it kind of pushes people away. People want to run from this, and then
Right.
It's like that confirms like some of the deeper, subconscious stuff that's going on for somebody that they're not enough, or the self-esteem or whatever. Another thing, not to expect meaningful communication with this person, because they have such difficulty having empathy for other people, and understanding other points of view. They can't really do that. They can't really sort of be in your shoes,
Right.
or dance in your shoes. Another thing is not bringing up past issues, like a litany of like why they are problematic. Just being able to like talk to the person about whatever's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Boundaries, another thing. Boundaries are really important to make sure that the person knows how far they can go. Also, like when you when like, this often happens with someone with this type of personality, they will often say, "Oh, well, when we get finished with all this, I'm going to give you this, that." So if you're in a situation where the person is making some sort of a promise or, some sort of a deal with you, it has to be a deal that they follow up with in the moment, not whenever this is over, like some far off, or unspecified period of time, because they will never follow through with it. It's usually just like another manipulation to get you to do what they want in the minute, So, and then of course, like being able to have a support system yourself that's away from this person, family, something that lets you be able to, get away from it for an hour at least, or whatever. And yeah, being able to have like some type of supportive situation. Like, for example, when I was working, having my supervisor meant a lot to me to be able to, explain to her what my reactions were initially and what I did and why, or, we always have, in social work, you always have like a supervisor, right? Or somebody that you know.
Unless you were the top of the line.
Yeah, and then it gets difficult because then it's like, well, where's my support? So you have to build that outside, But I remember being in middle management and sort of having a supervisee that was very narcissistic, and then, sort of like being able to, talk about it with my supervisor and, talk about ways of addressing it, was always really helpful to me. Yeah. Let's make sure I never miss. Okay. And always stay calm in the situation. A lot of times we want to respond in kind to what they're doing.
Right. And that's human
nature. And that's
nature.
a really hard one to...
It's human nature.
Sometimes that kill instinct is kind of hard to turn down, but it's better when we're able to do that.
And that's why I was saying, like, have empathy. I am not saying have sympathy. I'm not going to go that far.
That's never so helpful.
No.
Yeah.
But have empathy, because when you know why you're dealing with what you're dealing with somebody else, you're better able to address it from your end. And it can even mean that you're better if you understand where they're, I'm dealing with a narcissist. You know what? I hate to say it like this. You're better able to manipulate that person to get what you need out of them, because you understand what buttons do I need to hit in this person to make them come where I need them to do.
Right.
So, this person needs their ego stroked. All right. So I have enough empathy to understand that.
Exactly.
So use it for your benefit. Use it for, and it's, you yourself are not going to be able to fix somebody that's a narcissist.
Right. It's not our job in most of our relationships to manage other people's feelings. It's not our job to just make things right for everybody else.
Right.
We have our own needs, and, there's certain protection that we need to provide to ourselves over that person. Even when it's a romantic relationship or a familial relationship, being able to know sort of like where that ends. And, a lot of the things that happen with personalities like this is a lot of gaslighting, a lot of threatening, gaslighting in the way of like making you feel like what you experienced
isn't real,
or it's been undermined by that person.
Right.
Yeah.
Their point of view, their superiority is going to tell you that your feelings are not real, they're not legitimate. You cannot feel that way because I'm telling you can't.
Yeah, and those things can have an impact on your own mental health if you're exposed long enough. Not to say contagion, no, but an impact on your own mental health in terms of like, depression or feeling helpless or hopeless, or just feeling horribly anxious when you have to deal with this person.
Yeah.
So, being able to sort of say, oh, maybe I can benefit from, speaking to somebody or, being able to address it. Yeah.
I think we covered pretty
Yeah.
well.
We also have the number for the SAMHSA. SAMHSA is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration. It's a federal agency, and that helpline can provide a lot of things. Their website also provides a lot of information about different, types of services. It provides information about different types of illnesses, and about substance use. And we have that number in case anybody, kind of feels triggered or feels like, let me ask some questions about what help would look like in my area. So, yeah.
It's 1-800,
Whether for you, whether for a family member.
1-800-662-HELP, HELP. 1-800-662-HELP, HELP. I mean, there are services for all this stuff, and again, I can't stress this enough. If you're in a relationship with, let's say, a relationship, whether it's romantic, a friendship, family, it is
a personal relationship.
It's a personal relationship. You're not going to be in a position or empowered to fix the individual that you care about, but you need to understand the individual that you care about. And once you have the understanding, maybe you can minimize a lot of the negative effects that come from this. And maybe, it's probably not likely, I'm going to be honest, my own experience in dealing with people who have any kind of mental issue, very few will go to seek help because they don't see themselves as having that mental issue. That's fine. But you, as somebody who is in that circle of trust or in that orbit around that person, you can educate yourself so you are better able to deal with it. Like, again, if it's a work environment, if you know what makes your supervisor tick and they're a narcissist, use it to your advantage, right? Because you can start figuring out, and you'll figure out exactly what you got to do to use this to your advantage. And certainly, why not? And if it's a subordinate,
and you would find them in supervisory positions too, right? Because and a lot of them, like, they take credit for like other people's work and stuff like that. And
which
you've probably experienced that on the job.
Yeah, I did. And but I never understood. It's like, first when I was the CEO of the Civilian Complaint Review Board Liaison Office, I gave, if I did something with my people, or if I did 90% of the work, I gave my people all the credit, because you know what? I got full credit by them doing the work. I got the same credit, and I got my people to receive credit for what, because they do stuff that wasn't going to be noticed anyway. If I had stuff that could get them noticed in a good way, always something to do. You have to know, again, maybe you're dealing with people at your same title that's a narcissist.
Oh yeah, then it's just like you're each gunning for you.
They will be gunning for you constantly, because my own experience, I've dealt with it. You are the threat. Even if you want nothing to do with their responsibilities, they see you want what they have. And even though you're parallel positions, doesn't make a difference. Or maybe you're sharing responsibilities. Once you understand how that mind works, you will be amazed at how you will find solutions. I'm not going to name names, but Rach and I, we learned that when we get married. I had somebody who really, and what was the best way to validate that person? We invited that person to our wedding reception. And then all of a sudden, I was no longer the threat because now I was trusted. I was in that circle. And then they were able to realize that I didn't want any of their fucking responsibilities. But you had to see it. And I only was able to see it when I was able to step back a bit. Because before that, I was always on the defensive.
Yes.
And you had to step back a bit so you weren't on the defensive to actually see what it was that you were dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, every situation is different. Every narcissist is different.
Yeah.
But observe and trust your observations. That's something I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, like Rach said, they're going to gaslight you. They're going to make you think that what you're observing, you're not observing.
I'm sure people have. We tend to get a good bit of like DMs and stuff in here.
Mhm.
Like, how does it play out? Like, if you have somebody like a narcissist inside a game
Oh, they'll tell
or
you.
inside a campaign, or
Somebody who's at your table,
yeah,
that's a narcissist.
How do you deal with
they're
that as a
they'll be the one correct. They'll be the one telling you that, oh no, you're wrong. That's not how it is.
Uh-huh.
They're going to
Yeah.
want to take control, right? They are the ones that need to be the center of
Mhm.
everything. You know, when it's the same when the same player always wants to be the party leader. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I personally think that gaming is a great tool to get around this because
Yeah.
you force people to work together.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also that self-selection. If somebody does not fit the group,
Yeah.
you know what? They get disinvited.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
that's certainly something that's able to be done.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just check to see if we had any new comments.
Yeah, I was curious.
So, listen, this is a bit of a
Divergence from our usual
right. Our usual free flow.
free form.
But just a little heads up. Throughout the summer, we have some guests loosely lined up. When I say loosely, we have 2, maybe 3 people who want to come on, but there's no set schedule because it's the summertime. So
Yeah.
when we get them, we get them. When we don't, we don't. But they have expressed interest. It should be interesting. I always like to get an extra voice because you hear my voice 7 days a week anyway. You should get a little diversion from it. Other than that, like I showed the shirts. Here, I'm going to take away the share screen so folks can see a little better.
Yeah, yeah.
The Minion shirts, I'm going to put a blog post about them. This is the first trial shirt. It looks good. It feels great. I'm very excited about it. But the site where I got this shirt from, it doesn't seem to have like a place where people can order and have shipped direct. So I will probably have some shirts available at ShireCon. We'll set up a pre-order, and I'll bring what people expect and probably no extras. But we will set up probably with Redbubble. I think I'll have to order another shirt or 2 to see what the quality is from Redbubble. We'll place it. We'll set it up so you can place an order at cost. Again, this artwork was donated. It goes for the community, to the community. If you want to have one of these shirts, I'm more than happy to get it out there to you all. We had a question earlier about the Thursday night gaming that we're going to start up in a couple of weeks. Haven't put a call out yet. I will announce it here and the Discord server and on the tavern. Initially, it's going to be a 6-person, 6 PC player max, 7 if I feel really ambitious and stupid. But because I can only manage so much when I'm running online. If you see me at a con, I can do 10 to 12. But online, with the VTT, it's a little bit rougher. But here's the thing. If there's enough interest, and I've already discussed this with Rach, I will run a second session each month on a Sunday afternoon, probably from 12 to 3 Eastern or something like that. And it'll be fun. You might hear some TRX workout going on in the next room on occasions, but
We're moving it to Saturday, but
you moved to Saturdays, then we'll do Saturdays. You know, I want to do it when you're doing your stuff.
Oh,
We'll
I see now.
So
Okay.
all right, so we'll so it could be Thursday night and a Saturday. I'm just trying to work it around you, Rach.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this way, it's like kill two birds with one stone. I know there's interest in the Thursday night game. That's why I'm
Yeah, they're
trying.
right here. You can do this.
Yeah. Which is fine. My players will be saying the same thing. You can get that. Come on, roll that 20, roll that 20.
Go, Rachel, you can do it.
But why is this important? Why is this irregular game important? It's important because we need to connect with each other, we need to support each other, and we need to do an entertainment where we can forget the real world for a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Fuck politics, fuck social issues, fuck religion, fuck ethnicity, fuck your color. We don't care. We want to get everybody at the table and just have a good fucking time. All right? Great for your mental health. And if it's good for your mental health, guess what? It's going to help your physical health too. So I have to, we're up in the Poconos, Rach. Tomorrow I will make sure I have, using the itch.io one-page dungeon generator, I'm going to generate a couple dungeon levels. I want at least 2 for this adventure, because when you run an adventure at a convention, you don't know how long you need the space. So if I have 2 levels, I can always shorten what I'm using. But if I only have 1 level and the players blow through it in 2 hours, and my last hour is open, it's going to be 3-hour sessions. So we'll make you all know when we're doing it. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And, hey, maybe Rach, maybe we'll actually like say, all right, well, hey, give me your address, and maybe we'll have one random person in the session gets a free shirt for the first couple of times. We'll see.
Oh yeah, that's cool. A giveaway.
By the way, we've hit 1,500 subscribers. So assuming those numbers last until the end of the month, not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday.
And the last Wednesday of the month.
Yeah, because next Wednesday is the last Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
We're not going to do that because I'll be in the Poconos.
Not this Wednesday, but the next Wednesday.
So the first Wednesday of August.
Oh,
we're going to do a giveaway of $250 and maybe a few other prizes of drive-through gift certificate monies for the community.
Yay.
So, just checking here. Yeah, Redbubble was like, this was not Redbubble, but it's a quality shirt and it did a nice V-neck, so I like it. But I got to see that the graphics will blow up to the side without the back has the full module cover, and it's very readable. It looks clear and concise.
What company did this?
I'm not even 100% sure.
Oh.
Sunday afternoon would be glorious. It might be Saturdays, but we're gonna do. Like I said, I'm gonna be working around times that would normally be occupied otherwise. Right, Thursday nights.
Oh, you could do 9 a.m. on Sunday.
Fuck no! I'm not getting up that early. Ain't happening. Matt Jackson, count him in for a weekend game.
Nice.
Thursdays are already taken. Well, Matt, be glad to have you along. So I honestly, just from eyeballing it, I think I've got about at least a half dozen people who've already expressed interest, and I haven't even officially announced it yet. So, yeah, I think that we'll have enough interest to have 2 sessions a month, once on Thursday, one on Saturday.
Mm.
So,
nice.
Should be a good time. Did we miss anything, Rach?
Think so?
I don't think so either.
Does anybody else have anything?
Listen, I put the email
Concerns,
address.
questions, or feedback.
Yeah,
it's always welcome.
I'm going to put the email address up real quickly. You can just ignore the dungeon crawl part for now. But I'm putting that up because if you have a topic that you want us to cover, that's related to
a certain type of illness or
email me.
Whether it be mental health, whether it be physical health.
Yeah.
Email us so that this way, we can spend some time like really looking into it and understanding and just looking at some of the different things that we can do or how we can support people in our community who have a certain illness or issue.
Folks, I'm not gonna I always stress this. All right, I'm going to stress it again. You are not alone. Okay, you can always reach out on Facebook or Discord or email, and at the very least, you get a response from us. I we're not here to fix all the problems in the world. Can't do it, but we are here to show you that nobody has to deal with every problem without support. You can have support. Okay, look at me. Congestive heart failure, 5 stents, type 2 diabetic, cancer survivor, stenosis in my left shoulder where I can't reach my arm up, sciatica, and I am still one of the happiest people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I got a wonderful wife, but I have an amazing community, and you're part of that community.
Right, being able to share each person's uniqueness,
Yeah.
and some of these things do make us unique.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, so just again, you can always reach out. We will get back to you, or you can always leave a voicemail. If I could remember, 347. I'd have to put it
Do you
up.
remember the other 3? 5168 is the last 4.
Here we go.
Yeah.
347-509-5168. You can leave a voicemail. If you do, it goes to my Google number. We will listen to it. We will respond either by calling you back or texting you, or if you leave an email or Discord handle, we'll find a way to get back to you. Or you might just want to just leave a message and say, hey, maybe this topic is good. Maybe you can guys cover this. Whatever works for you. 347-509-5168. I really do appreciate the huge amount of support that Rach and I have both gotten over the last, I don't know, 6 months.
Since we started this thing, too.
Yeah. When did we start this, really? Last year.
2 years, I think.
Yeah. All right. I'd have to go back and actually look at it. But this is, we do it for you and we do it for us. Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I can't thank you all enough. You all mean the world to us.
And thanks for all the care and support.
Yes. So my COVID speech has gotten a lot shorter. Use your common sense. That's it. All right. I'm not going to go beyond it. Be safe. Be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. For those asking again, I'll have more details in a week or two about the gaming sessions that we're going to be running at the tavern. And other than that, I'll be back again tomorrow. Hopefully with just some regular gaming news or thoughts. And we can get away from some of these topics that we've been covering, or I've been covering. Oh, it's exhausting. All right, folks. Laters.